will run, I will climb, I will soar.
A reactor core. While it may not exist in reality yet, let's look at some of the engineering needed to make it happen. Iron Man's reactor is essentially a fusion reactor that harnesses energy by removing electrons from hydrogen atoms. This removal of electrons creates an ion plasma, which is the ultimate source of energy. What makes the miniature reactor both so incredible as well as breathtaking is twofold. One, the energy source is in all practical senses endless. Sustained fusion reactions of hydrogen atoms on a small scale is enough to power a block of homes for their sustainable lifetime. Let's dig into the specifics of how the reactor core will work. The fusion reactor will be donut-shaped, otherwise known as a tokamak. Two kinds of hydrogen atoms called deuterium and tritium would be held inside of the donut reactor core. Small pulses of energy are used to kickstart the fusion reaction by removing electrons from their host atoms. This removal of electrons creates an ion plasma that energy can be harvested from. The hydrogen atoms inside of the tokamak reactor would be heated to temperatures over 150 million degrees Celsius. This plasma is, of course, very reactive to magnetic influence, which is used to keep it away from direct contact with the reactor walls. Magnetic fields are generated by the coils you see around Tony Stark's reactor, basically just extreme electromagnets. Keeping the plasma away from the walls of the reactor is key. And here's the thing, though. Fusion reactors have been around for a while. Scientists have been able to sustain fusion reactions, but the net electricity produced has always been negative. In other words, no fusion reactor has ever produced more energy than it consumes. This is due to the immense energy needed for the superconducting coils used to create the immense stabilizing magnetic fields. Theoretically, a net positive fusion reactor is achievable, and this is the ultimate goal and vision of research teams across the world. If scientists are able to break through and create a working fusion reactor core, it could spell the beginning of one of the cleanest energy sources in human history.
In order to understand how Nikola Tesla wanted to transmit power, first you have to understand that it's pretty easy to transmit power wirelessly. For example, all you need is a balloon and a piece of paper. So I'm going to charge this balloon up by rubbing it on my floor. So watch what happens when I bring the balloon near the paper. The paper goes towards it. So now let's say I wanted to generate some type of power by wiggling this paper back and forth. Well, then I just have to move my balloon by it back and forth. You can see that you can easily transmit power, meaning it took some energy to move this back and forth and back and forth. So I transmitted power from the balloon to the paper. And I did that by alternating a current, meaning that I had a static charge here, but I was moving it back and forth and back and forth, and that was moving the paper. So by moving a charge back and forth and back and forth, you can transmit power. And so what we need to do to transfer energy is to move charges back and forth and back and forth. And because there's a high frequency alternating current in this coil here, that means it's sending out an alternating electromagnetic field through the atmosphere. So that means that if you have something that can use an alternating current, then you can use the power from this device and obtain it wirelessly into the device you want to be powered. For example, this light bulb here. So you can see that when I bring this close to it, it powers up. And the closer I get to it, the more it powers up. And what's interesting, you'll notice that when I bring it near it, the spark at the top goes away. So this isn't free energy at all. I'm actually taking away the energy that is just getting discharged through the top there.
Yeah, I believe it. Oh, the past is everything we were. Don't make us who we are. So I'll dream until I make it real, and all I see is stars. It's not until you fall that you fly. When your dreams come alive, you're unstoppable. Take a shot chase the sun, find the beautiful. We will go in the dark, turning dust to gold, and we'll dream